Welcome. We want to dive right back in where we left off last time and talk about your pandemic pause again. Once you've made that decision to either resume your work or to return to something different, you're going to need to figure out how to talk about this time you've taken off.
Yes, this is something that trips people up. And we actually get asked about this all the time. And it's because really people think it's a bigger deal than it really is. But that's okay. We're going to guide you through it. So first is, let's just answer this question. What will I say? Right? When it comes to networking, when I am on that, elevator, when I'm creating an elevator pitch or whatever, what will I
It's funny for you and me because we work with people who have 22-year gaps. So like a 2-year gap's not a big deal. So because of that, you want not to give it a whole lot of space and time. It's not a big deal. So it's a one sentence. I'm excited to get back to work after taking a 2-year pandemic pause. It was really great time to be home and keep my family safe, keep my parents safe, keep my children safe. And I'm excited to get back. I'm sure this is no news to you. I'm sure you had many other people do the same. Just normalize it because it's so normal that 2.9 million women did it. So it gets very little space. I would argue there is even a good case for not even saying anything. I mean, having it on your resume, you don't need to write a big deal, just 2020 to 2022 pandemic pause. It's pretty understandable. But if you feel the need to explain it, it's real simple. I took 2 years off. It was a great opportunity to just hunker down, keep everybody safe. But I was excited to get back to work and I'm thrilled that I can now.
And I just want to point out the energy with which you're saying that. Because you are saying it with confidence. You
and authority, I'm not apologizing.
You're not making it like you did something wrong or you really have lost every skill set that ever was acquired during this pause. That is not the case. But if you come with the energy that you are apologetic and you feel really bad or, gosh, I know it's been a long time, then that is going to come through and that is going to work against you.
Definitely. That's a really good point.
Okay. All right. So the next question I want you to answer is, how do I ask for what I want? So when it comes to like flexible work or pay or boundaries, how do we have these conversations?
Well, in the last video, if you haven't seen it, you'll probably want to go back and look at it. We talked about taking this moment to reassess, like what has changed? What do I need now that I maybe didn't need before? So let's be clear. You may have worked in a very inflexible workplace before. That's not the case anymore. You can't give your entire employee base some flexibility to work slightly different hours or slightly from home and then take it away. So they may say it, but that's something that's very easy to ask for because it's part of our culture now. It's really part of the new work paradigm. So flexibility is something you ask for. I would say it's more something you say you demand it. You don't ask for it so much. So we just say, so what I'm looking to do is continue to work remotely as I have at the beginning of the break. Let's just say you worked a few months like that and then you stayed home. Or like many of my peers, I'm looking to be working flexibly. I think I could maybe come in 1 day a week. That might be good so I can have some, informal connection, but I'd be looking to do my work 4 days a week remotely. And then you just move on. It's just a statement. It's not a can I please. It's, as I say all the time, flexibility is compensation. It's not an accommodation. You're not groveling for this. This is something that you are demanding. This is something that you need to make yourself the best employee. Right. Now, if you've been out for 2 years and you're going back to your old company, you know what? People have gotten raises in the last 2 years. So you should not be starting out where you left 2 years ago. So again, just bringing that to their attention. It's not so much asking. Again, it's saying, and I'm curious, I'm excited to see what my new compensation would be now 2 years later, post-COVID. Period. Let them feel that discomfort a little bit. Instead of you.
Okay. So what happens if I don't get it? If I don't get,
so if you don't get the schedule you want, you don't get the work you want, there's a chance you may not get the job that you want either. You may be going back in and it may be just a matter of capacity, that your role is no longer open. It may be that somebody else has moved up. You need to have a plan B. You need to go into any of these conversations with another plan. So that gives you the power to walk away. And it also gives you the power of negotiating. So if they come back and they say, you know what, Kelley, we're thrilled to have you back. Your job is still open, but we really will be expecting you to be here every day. then if you have a plan B, you can with much more conviction and confidence say, you know what, Susan, I'm excited to come back too, but that's a non-starter for me.
Yeah.
I will not be able to be on site every day.
Right.
So we need to talk about this a little bit. And, you know, post-COVID, I was expecting that you would be a bit more amenable to this, since we have the tools and we know it works.
Right.
Right. You can say that with more confidence if you know that you've got another opportunity that you're working on.
Right.
Right. So that plan B may not be another job offer.
Okay.
But it might be enough other conversations that you're having right now that give you the confidence to say, you know what, if I don't take this, I can land somewhere else.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I think it's also important to just know what your boundaries are.
That's exactly right.
You know, that, you know, if they're expecting you to come in 5 days a week, that actually is no longer a job that's a fit for you. If you have done the sort of reflection to determine that I am setting the hard boundary, I am not going into an office 5 days a week.
Right.
However, if you have a financial imperative and you really need to be
putting food on the table, that's a different story. We're not talking.
It is
absolutely right.
It's a completely different story.
Right.
You may have to take that 5 day a week position so that you can make, you know, the money that you need to make, but it doesn't mean that you have to stay in that position forever either.
Exactly.
So,
and I think just by setting the boundary up front, by very confidently saying, and I'll be looking forward to working 4 days a week from home and coming in 1 day a week, because I really see the value in that kind of informal learning and connecting and network that happens in the office. If you present it that way with that kind of confidence, even if they deny it, the way you presented it with that kind of confidence is not going to be forgotten by them. It will impact the way they treat you moving forward.
Right.
Another thing that we can just touch on as a last resort is that trial period.
Right.
You know, Kelley, I get it. I know that your preference is for everybody to come back to the office full time. And that's just not going to work for me with my personal situation. Do not get into the weeds. Don't talk about childcare or elder care or pet care or whatever it is. It's just not going to work for my needs.
Yeah.
Right. Why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Let's try it out.
Right.
Let's try it out. Let's put something in writing right now and try it out for 60 days and see how it works. It may not work for me.
Right.
You know, I might be thinking that this is what I need, but it may not be right for me. You may be thinking that it's not the right fit for the office and find out that it's really great.
Right.
So that's kind of like the alternative close.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's really interesting, we actually heard this from a MILF spouse today, that she was, you know, she was in a position, the position was one that she loved and she really wanted to keep. But her life and circumstances were going to have her going elsewhere. And so she was able to negotiate for that. So really talking, these are human beings that you're talking to. The workforce has changed, the way the working world, the workplace, it is all changed because of this pandemic. And don't be afraid to be a part of that change and ask for the things that you need. If you have not watched the part 1 to this, you're going to want to go back and do that, because a lot of what will direct the conversations that you're going to have are all
those reflection questions.
Are going to be worked through in that very first video. So that's what we have for you today.
If you like what you heard today, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Maybe give us a little like on this one. If you would like more information about our Prepare to Launch You other services, please visit us at www.preparetolaunchyu.com.